Oh man, there's been a lot of talk about Rowan, Scion of War. Is this card as good as everybody thinks it is? Let's dive in. Well, Wizards has finally realized that Planeswalkers suck. I've been saying this for years, dude. We don't need them. We don't need battles either. There's enough design space that we don't need gimmicky card types. That's it, dude. So Will Kenrith and Rowan Kenrith, they used to be Planeswalkers, so they could show up on different planes and stuff, right? Who cares? Why the heck does anybody want them on different planes, man? I don't need to see more of these people. They're on Eldraine, just keep them on Eldraine. Alright, man, Planeswalker ran is over. Let me add some sparkles. I'm going to put some sparkles right here. Rowan Kenrith is back, and she cut her hair, dude. When a woman cuts her hair, you know that she's undergone some change in her life. She wants to shed that old Rowan, be the queen of mean, like in Disney's Descendants 3 when Audrey, daughter of Sleeping Beauty, changed her hair and became a villain, dude. That's what you call a heel turn. Now listen up, man. I'm here to tell you that although this is a very powerful commander, it's not as powerful as you may think. But don't worry, old Nikki G is here to tell you why. Anyway, Rowan has this little watermark and she's desparked. That's the despark watermark. But she can still do magical acts, and she's now centered in black and red mana, as evidenced by the little sparks coming off her hand and sword, dude, so she's still got her magic. We also have a showcase version that appears to be based on a 90s comic book, some kind of Jim Lee joint where women no longer have pupils, right? Of course there is. We need at least 2 versions of every card nowadays anyways, may as well skip the pupils. Alright, let's read this dang card, we're going to get into it, but first, like, subscribe, hit all those buttons. I'm just a guy who exists in a bag, right? I'm connected to IV fluid drips, and the only way they'll keep giving me that life-giving fluid, brother, is if I can procure engagement. Alright, here she is, Rowan, Scion of War. 1 black and a red for a legendary creature, human wizard. It's a 4/2 with menace. Tap, spells you cast this turn that are black and or red cost X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you lost this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. This sorcery activation speed kinda sucks. You can't use this to blast off instants, dude, but there aren't too many instants that we want to blast off with anyways. This immediately put me in mind of Grevin, Predator Captain. Let's do a little death match here between these two before we get too deep into Rowan. Grevin's 3 black and a red for a legendary creature, Phyrexian Human Warrior. It's a 5/5 with menace. This guy gets +X/+O, where X is the amount of life you lost this turn. Whenever Grevin attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, you draw cards equal to that creature's power, and you lose life equal to that creature's toughness. Alright, these are both in Rakdos colors. They both want you to lose life, but they do very different things. Grevin has this draw engine stapled on and is a win condition in the command zone. Commander damage knockouts can happen as soon as Grevin can attack, dude. He also costs more and is a bit chunkier. So who wins in a fight between these two? I don't know, man. This is kind of a Marvel thing to think about, you know what I mean? Grevin lost just about all of his fights in the lore anyways. He was getting beat up all the time by Gerard, dude. Certainly looks cooler than Rowan, though. He's augmented with Phyrexian technology. He's got the superpower of hatred, the same superpower I have, dude. But look at it this way. Rowan has sparkles, man, which are the manifestation of girl power. The other thing Grevin has going against him is the generic villain curse. He's gonna mess up. He's gonna trip. He's gonna start talking too much or whatever, but I'd still have $5 on Grevin, dude. He's such a badass character. I don't know, man, whatever. I'm putting $5 on Grevin, dude. So what recommends a Rowan, Scion of War? Well, cost reduction, even at sorcery speed on a 3-mana commander, can be just as devastating and is a win condition all on its own. I built a deck to check it out and goldfish it a little bit, and you can easily combo out on turn 4 pretty reliably, absent any interaction, that is. Rowan allows you to combo cards like Treasonous Ogre and Immolating Soul Eater with Exsanguinate and Torment of Hailfire to really just kill the heck out of your opponents. Exsanguinate has been a favorite of mine forever, dude. I love this card. I'd always get really excited to see one of these in a collection that I bought, and it recently got reprinted in Commander Masters. It's still a $130 uncommon, dude. Outrageously good card in these decks for life gain. Look at this lady, dude. She's just sucking the blood out of some dude's eyeballs. Then we got Crackle with Power, dude. Look at this. Triple X and a red for a sorcery. Crackle with Power deals 5 times X damage to each of up to X targets. One time, only one time in my youth, dude, I think I was about 9 years old, did I crackle with power. My mother took me straight to the ER. The doctor there, he said it was a serious medical condition. A child should never crackle like this, dude. But I felt cool for a minute, you know? Think about this. If you pay 24 life into Immolating Soul Eater, activate Rowan, Crackle with Power costs 24 less. Spaghetti-o. Every opponent takes 40 damage. So you have these types of potentialities, these types of combos, life loss into exsanguinate, and you can really storm off with it. There are rituals you can use to get your colored mana, there are draw effects that trade life for cards. I think this is balanced out by the fact that Rowan needs to be on the battlefield to make these broken things happen. Otherwise you're just paying life for nothing, dude. And she needs to tap to do it. This is where we get into the drawbacks. Then there's this really bad thing that can happen, right? You pay all your life into an effect, go down to 3 life or whatever, and then guess what, dude? Fierce Guardianship shows up, comes and wrecks your entire day. I saw this happen with Quiza and Necrologia, right? In response to Necrologia, I blasted Quiza at instant speed, and the poor guy just killed himself with Necrologia. It was a good play, but it was very salt-inducing. So these type of blowouts can certainly happen with Rowan as well, when you're down to 3 life on turn 4 with no plays, dude. Her ability goes on the stack unless someone counters it with a stifle effect, so if you do manage to activate it at sorcery speed, the effect still happens, even if someone removes her in response. Alright, so you cast Rowan, she sticks around for the turn cycle. Now you're going to go into your upkeep phase with Rowan, and don't put anything on the stack, dude. You pass priority, as it were, go to move to your first main phase. Before you leave your upkeep, your opponents receive priority in turn order, and can use this time to sword to Plowshare as your commander before you can legally activate her ability. That's why the activate only at sorcery clause kinda sucks, dude. But it's important to balance Rowan somehow. Now the other way that she's balanced is from her rulings on the Gatherer page. The value of X is determined only once at the time Rowan Scion of War's activated ability resolves. So if you lose a life later in the turn but X was set at 3 when you activated her ability, then it's set at 3 for the rest of the turn, dude. Just keep that in mind. And finally, you're going to need black or red mana to cast black and or red spells. Rowan only reduces the cost of the generic mana you're paying. You can't cheat out colorless artifacts with this. It's only black or red spells, dude. Just something to note. Now for this deck, there are a few pieces you can run to counter the interaction that you're going to eat with this thing, right? Red Elemental Blast, Pyroblast, these are pretty good cards, but you also have Imp's Mischief, 1 in the black for an instant. Change the target of target spell with a single target. You lose life equal to that spell's mana value. This just got a reprint in Commander Masters, very powerful card that has some life loss involved, right? Thematic for this deck, still about $7. So let's just take a peek at some nice creature includes for a Rowan deck. Since there's such a risk with going down to 3 or less life, you may want to include more incremental life loss payoffs. Aim for 4 or 5 cost reduction and back it up with massive life gain effects. This is what I do in Grevin, and it works quite nicely. Now this deck is the perfect deck for Shard of the Nightbringer. 5 black for a creature, it's a Chris Catan. It's an 8/8 with flying. Drain life. When this thing enters the battlefield, if you cast it, target opponent loses half their life, round it up. You gain life equal to the life loss this way. Very mean card, but you can get the cost down to 3 black mana with Rowan out there and get a bunch of life back. It's a Grim Reaper with laser eyes, dude, in outer space. I mean, come on. And a new favorite of mine, the Hoarding Broodlord. 5 black for a creature dragon. It's a 7/6 with Convoke and flying. When this thing enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, exile it face down, then shuffle. For as long as that card remains exiled, you may play it, dude. Spells you cast from exile have Convoke. This can get whatever you need, brother. Combo off if you want. This card is only $1, man. I'm a big fan. I'm surprised this thing isn't more expensive. I bought 5 of them when it released, dude, because it's going to go right in decks, man. I think it's got potential in Commander. The format of big splashy spells, and there are so many ways to cheat this cost. You also have his classic buddy, dude, the Rune-Scarred Demon. This guy's basically just a big demonic tutor on a stick. It's 5 black for a creature demon. It's a 6/6 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, put it in your hand, then shuffle. This is a classic card that's down to bulk price, dude. It's like $1 for this masterpiece. How about the old Dark Confidant, dude? Every 13-year-old girl talking to their diary like it's a Dark Confidant. 1 in the black for a creature, human wizard, it's a 2/1. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library, put that card in your hand, you lose life equal to its mana value. This guy has the 5th element emo half-shaved head, dude. I've never seen that look good in real life. It's strictly an anime/magic art thing, I guess. I don't know, dude. This guy is still $10 due to its popularity in other formats. Mom, can we have Dark Confidant? No, dear. We have Dark Confidant at home. And that's the Keen Duelist. 1 in the black for a creature, human wizard, it's a 2/2. At the beginning of your upkeep, you and target opponent each reveal the top card of your library. You each lose life equal to the mana value of the card revealed by the other player. then put the card you revealed into your hand. I love this lady, dude. She's got nice silver hair. I mean, she gets a little mad at you when you go out to the grocery store, you don't pick up the right things, but she gives you the life loss that you desperately need in this deck. Then we got the old Doom Whisperer, 3 and a black for a creature nightmare demon. It's a 6/6 with flying and trample stamples, dude. Pay 2 life, surveil 2. This is such a monster card, dude. A 6/6 flampler for 5 mana is mean enough, but that ability to infinitely surveil for 2 life is bonkers in this deck. Imagine this guy whispering into your ear and stroking your cheek in the night, brother. That's doom. And you may want to think about the old K-Rick here, dude. It's a legendary creature, Phyrexian horror minion. For each black in a cost, you may pay 2 life rather than pay that mana, dude. Your boyfriend is who? The son of Yawgmoth? Wow, dude. Yawgmoth, I mean, he owns a lot of real estate. This is a pretty broken card. It's only $3 right now. And you may also want to include some group slug effects, like the old Direfleet Ravager here, dude. He's an Orc Pirate Wizard. He's a 4/4 with Menace and Death Touch. When he enters the battlefield, each player loses a third of their life rounded up. So you get a 13 mana value discount on other spells you cast this turn if you activate Rowan after this guy ETBs. Pretty good deal, you know what I mean? I love this guy in Grevin. You can capitalize on this life loss where your opponents probably cannot. And now ramping into Profane Transfusion may be a decent way to pad your life total and really screw up your opponents. So this is 6 black for a sorcery. 2 target players exchange life totals. You create an XX colorless horror artifact creature token where X is the difference between those players' life totals. I like how these 2 middle schoolers are doing an interpretive dance for their talent show. It's beautiful, it's awkward, just like you, buddy. Now you do have a couple lands that help reduce your life total. Sulphurous Springs, you got the new Mount Doom out there as well, but you have this wacky old land from Odyssey, right? Tarnished Citadel. Tap, add colorless, or tap, add 1 mana of any color. Tarnished Citadel deals 3 damage to you. This is kind of right where you want to be, losing 3 to 5 life to start the turn and activate Rowan to reduce your spells. Unfortunately, it's $23, but I'm sure it'll get reprinted at some point. So listen, we're going to recap here. Reducing the cost of red and black spells is great and immensely powerful in a vacuum. Unfortunately, you aren't playing in a vacuum. You need a backup plan, and the deck needs to function without the commander because it's going to get murked. If you go all in on commander-centered life loss combos, you risk a very quick game one way or the other, with you out of it on turn 4 or you just win. Rowan can only be activated at sorcery speed, so that slows you down and opens up a lot of interaction. And never forget, dude, X is locked in when you activate her. If you lose more life later in the turn, it doesn't further reduce those red and black spells unless you can untap her and activate again, which is not outside the realm of possibility in Commander. See 1000-Year Elixir. You can check out my quick deck list. It can easily storm off on turn 4. It may give you some ideas you haven't thought about. I'm going to link it, dude. It's a 75% deck. It's not a budget deck. Able to function at mid to higher power tables, but does contain some of that ability to combo or get blown out depending on your interaction with the other players. What do you fools think of this thing? Is the old sparkler worth a look, or is it too unfun, too high risk? Let me know in the comments below. This is old Nicky G from Better Commander, signing off.